Have you ever had that gut feeling that someone wasn't telling you the whole truth? Maybe it was the way they avoided eye contact or how their story seemed a little too perfect. Here's the harsh reality. Deception is more common than we'd like to admit, and knowing how to spot a lie isn't just a useful skill, it's essential. Lies can erode trust, sabotage relationships, and even lead us down paths that waste years of our lives. But here's the good news. With the right insights, you can become nearly immune to deception. Today, we're breaking down 5 powerful signs that someone is lying to you. Tells that most people miss, but can make all the difference. By the end of this, you won't just be able to spot a liar, you'll understand why people lie in the first place and how to guard yourself against deception. So, if you've ever been manipulated or kept in the dark, this one's for you. Let's uncover the truth together. Ready? Let's go. Let's start with the most obvious but often overlooked sign: inconsistent body language. When someone is lying, their words might say one thing, but their body says another. Think about it. Have you ever noticed someone nodding while saying no, or shrugging while declaring something confidently? That's a classic red flag. Liars often struggle to synchronize their verbal and nonverbal cues because deception puts the brain under stress, causing micro-expressions and gestures that betray the lie. Watch for fidgeting, avoiding eye contact, or even the opposite, staring a little too intensely as if trying to convince you. Another tell is mirroring. Honest people naturally align their body language with yours, while liars can seem out of sync. The key is to focus on clusters of behavior rather than a single gesture. One fidget doesn't make someone a liar, but multiple signs together start to paint a picture. By learning to read these subtle cues, you're already one step ahead of most people. One of the most common signs someone is lying is when their story is just a little too perfect. Liars often overcompensate by adding excessive details, hoping that the more elaborate their story, the more believable it sounds. They'll tell you what color the sky was, what song was playing in the background, and every irrelevant detail in between. Why? Because they're buying time to think and trying to mask the one thing they don't want you to notice: the lie itself. Genuine stories are straightforward with natural gaps and pauses, but lies are rehearsed, overly structured, and suspiciously flawless. The next time you hear a story that seems too good to be true, try steering the conversation off track. Honest people can follow naturally, but liars will struggle. They need the script. By noticing when someone tries to bury the truth under a mountain of unnecessary details, you can cut through the noise and get closer to what really happened. Have you ever noticed someone pausing awkwardly or stumbling over their words when you ask a simple question? That hesitation might not just be nerves. It could be a sign they're fabricating a story on the spot. Liars often struggle with speech patterns. They might speak too quickly to rush past the lie, or too slowly to buy time for their brain to construct a believable story. Pay attention to fillers like or you know, especially when they appear in places they usually wouldn't. Another tell is distancing language, using vague phrases like "that person" instead of names, or avoiding direct answers by deflecting questions back to you. The truth is simple, but lies are complicated and exhausting to maintain. When someone's speech becomes erratic, overly formal, or full of awkward pauses, it's a signal that something doesn't add up. By focusing on how someone speaks, not just what they say, you can detect lies that might otherwise slip right past you. Here's a powerful yet often misunderstood sign: defensiveness. When someone's telling the truth, they're usually open to clarifying their story or providing more details if needed. But liars, they often react with unexpected defensiveness or even anger when questioned. It's a tactic to put you on the defensive, making you feel guilty for even asking. They might say things like, "Why would I lie about that?" Or, "I can't believe you don't trust me," turning the focus back on you to avoid revealing more information. This kind of emotional redirection is a way of protecting the lie by intimidating you into backing off. Pay attention to disproportionate reactions. If a simple question about where they were last night turns into a heated debate about trust, it's a red flag. Genuine people might feel hurt when questioned, but liars tend to escalate quickly, using anger as a smokescreen. Recognizing this pattern helps you stay calm and focused on uncovering the truth, no matter how much they try to rattle you. One of the most telling signs that someone is lying is their eagerness to change the subject. When a liar feels the heat, they'll do almost anything to redirect the conversation away from the lie. If you ask a pointed question and they respond by suddenly shifting to an unrelated topic, that's a big red flag. It's not just about avoiding the truth, it's about controlling the conversation. Pay attention to phrases like, "Anyway, enough about that," or, "Well, let's not get into that right now," especially when they come out of nowhere. Honest people address questions directly, even uncomfortable ones, because they have nothing to hide. Liars, on the other hand, will steer the discussion towards safer ground, hoping you won't notice the escape route. The trick is to stay on point, bring the conversation back to your original question calmly, and see how they react. A liar will struggle to keep their story straight when forced to stick to the topic, revealing cracks in their deception. To truly spot a liar, you need to understand why people lie in the first place. Most lies aren't born out of malice. They stem from fear of consequences, fear of judgment, or fear of losing something valuable. Some people lie to avoid confrontation, while others do it to protect their image or manipulate outcomes. Recognizing the motive behind the lie can make it easier to see through it. For example, someone lying to cover a mistake will behave differently than someone lying to gain an advantage. Understanding the motive also helps you decide how to respond, whether to confront them directly or give them a chance to come clean. It's not just about catching someone in a lie. It's about decoding the intent behind it. When you learn to read the why, not just the what, you gain a deeper insight into human behavior, allowing you to separate the harmless lies from the ones that can truly hurt you. Catching someone in a lie is one thing, handling it is another. The worst thing you can do is react emotionally or confront them aggressively. Liars are already in defense mode, and pushing too hard can make them double down on their story. Instead, approach the situation with calm curiosity. Ask open-ended questions that encourage them to elaborate, like, "Can you walk me through that again?" Or, "Help me understand what you mean by that." This not only puts the pressure back on them to maintain the lie, but also gives you more chances to spot inconsistencies. Sometimes, letting them talk is all it takes for the truth to unravel. Another effective tactic is silence. After a probing question, stay quiet and let the discomfort do the work. Liars tend to fill silence with more lies, exposing themselves further. The goal isn't just to expose the lie, but to understand the reason behind it and decide your next steps wisely. Reacting with control and clarity turns the tables, leaving the liar scrambling and revealing more than they intended. Choosing to ignore the signs of deception can come at a high cost. Lies, even the small ones, have a way of eroding trust over time, creating cracks in relationships that are hard to repair. When you dismiss those gut feelings or let things slide for the sake of keeping the peace, you're not just protecting them, you're deceiving yourself. The danger lies in the cumulative effect. Each ignored lie teaches the other person that deception works and that they can get away with it. This not only emboldens liars, but also leaves you questioning your own judgment. The cost isn't just emotional, it can also be practical. Financial scams, betrayal at work, or manipulative friendships can lead to real-world losses. Recognizing the signs of deception isn't about becoming paranoid, it's about protecting your peace of mind and making informed decisions about who you trust. The truth may hurt in the short term, but it's deception that leaves scars. By choosing to face the truth head-on, you reclaim your power and safeguard your relationships from the corrosive effects of lies. Knowing how to spot a liar is a powerful skill, but it's only useful if you act on it. The goal isn't to become a human lie detector or confront every untruth directly, but to use this awareness to protect yourself and make smarter decisions. It's about setting boundaries, choosing your battles wisely, and deciding who gets your trust. If you suspect someone is being dishonest, start by gathering facts quietly. Ask questions, observe behavior, and look for patterns rather than jumping to conclusions. If the lie is significant enough to address, approach the conversation calmly and without accusation, focusing on the facts rather than emotions. Most importantly, trust your instincts. That gut feeling isn't just a hunch, it's your mind picking up on subtle cues that something's off. Being able to identify lies doesn't just help you avoid manipulation, it builds your confidence and sharpens your ability to navigate relationships with clarity and strength. So keep these signs in mind, trust yourself, And remember, the truth is always the best ally you have.